Hey guys, we're working on a 2020 Ford F-150. We're gonna be doing door lock actuators on this bad boy today. And these are probably some of the crappiest door lock actuators I've ever had to do. So without further ado, let's get started. We need some tools to start. You're gonna need a 10 mil socket, 8 mil socket, 7 mil socket. You're gonna need a trim tool, small pocket screwdriver, possibly one of these little hooky doodad things, trim tool, and T30 Torx. Don't forget the T30 Torx, very important. And an impact driver if you want. Also, probably some silicone spray. Very, very handy for this window track trim that we're gonna need to take off. That's right, we gotta take the glass out of this one to get the actuator out, because the actuator is part of the window track that's in here. Yay! Okay, so first thing we got to do here is get this door panel off. Pretty simple. We actually just start with this piece up here. So you just manhandle that, rip that bad boy right off. Just a couple pressure clips that are in here. Set that aside. Now this cover has to come off. So we're actually just gonna try to stick this in here. And this thing, whoops, this thing makes a bunch of cracking, creaking noises. It's held on by like 75 clips underneath. So this is a work truck too, by the way, guys. Look at all those clips. They did not want this piece to come off. But you can see here, you have to start on this side because this thing goes in here. So don't be prying on this side because it ain't gonna fold out like that. Anyhow, now that that's off, next thing we gotta do is take this cover off in here. And I'm just gonna take this little hook thing. I've seen another guy do this in another video, so props to him. And you just, oops, yank that. Hook underneath there, yank that. 2 clips on the top, folds down and out. Now we're just gonna switch over. We've got 7mm screw up in the corner. We've got a couple 7mm screws that are gonna be down below. They're kind of angled up. One there. One there. Then we're gonna switch out for our 8mm. We're gonna hit it with the 8. Oh, that's a 7. I goofed. Okay, we got 2 in the center. And then we've got 2 out by the door handles. So the silvery looking ones with the small washers go in the center. The grayer looking ones with the bigger washers go on the handles. That is the handle. Okay, once you get those out, now we're ready to pretty much get this thing out of here. So just grab the bottom corner of the door. I think that's everything. I'm pretty sure. We're gonna find out. Okay, just like that, you just beat it. So the clips, there's a bunch of clips on here. It should have just like popped out like this and then lifted it up, but I gave it the 1-2 combo. So now we gotta just get this thing off. This is for our door latch release, but we pulled down. There's a tab. You just pull down and lift out and it unclips. There's the little thing there. You just pull down on it and then out and up. And then we got a couple electrical connectors. One here for our door locks, one here for our windows. That gets the panel out of the way. Now what we need to do is we gotta work on, we'll get the speaker out of the way. This is probably gonna be the next easiest thing. Unplug the speaker. We've got 4 7mm screws holding that in. This thing's just sort of held in here one way or the other. Oh yeah, like that. Okay, so there's a little latch thing like right there that'll pop off and then it comes down and out. So once you get that off, now we're gonna just peel this thing off because we're gonna need to get in here and work a whole bunch once we get our glass out of the way. So just peel that thing off. That's all over here because it's got that butyl tape on it, real nasty stuff. Okay, now we want to take this piece off, set that on the roof. Then we're going to want to take, let's see, oh yeah, so we're going to have to roll the glass up a little bit so that we can get to the plastic clips. There's some plastic clips that are secured to the window regulator assembly, so the two tracks that move up and down. And then there's these other pieces that are urethane to the glass that have holes in them that snap together so that the track and the window become one. So we're going to need to disconnect those, but what we need to do first is take our mirror off, because this little lip right here of the mirror is enough to just block us from getting the glass out. We need that much extra room. So let's unplug the mirror, and then we've got two 10mm nuts and two 10mm screws. Take that off of there. Take that off. I'm gonna leave that on just a smidge. A couple black bolts. Then I'm gonna come around to the other side here. Give it a little whack. And we can set this mirror aside. And now we want to take this window strip out. So it's pretty simple to do. You're just gonna pull this down. We'll start in the center. Kind of get your fingers underneath of it. Pull this down. And we're gonna lift outwards. You're gonna do the same thing on this side. And lift that out and throw that on the roof. And then now our glass is getting all flippity floppity. We're just about ready to come out. So now what we need to do is get the door panel and kind of put it back up here and like half plug it in while the key is on so that we can run the glass up. And we want the glass to be up high enough so that we can access those plastic clips. We're gonna access them in here, and also where we took the speaker out in about this area here. So let's do that now. Grab this thing. I'm gonna turn the key on now. She's honking. Okay, right about there, I would say is probably pretty good. You don't want it up too high, but just enough. And I'll get this out of the way. So now comes the fun part. We've got to get these clips off. So it's going to be difficult to see because everything's backwards in this truck. But here, you come where I'm sitting. So can you see the little plastic clip that goes through the hole? Okay, so you basically have to take like a flathead screwdriver or a trim tool or something like this, and then you got to stick it in behind and you got to pry it so that that pops out of there. And then you got to do that to the other side too. Now I just like to stick a little pocket screwdriver or something in between the glass and that plastic clip so that it doesn't re-clip back into place, because you'll just go back and forth a bunch of times. So I'm gonna grab something here to get to. So this one's also going to be the same deal. It's kind of everything's backwards on this truck, and it's a real pain. Okay, now that we've got this going, you're gonna notice that, oh, I still can't get the glass out, but what we gotta do here is give her the old rotate, like that. And now the glass comes out. And then we gotta set that somewhere safe. All right, that's how you do it, guys. Thanks for watching. Just kidding. All right, so this is actually the passenger side latch. I just wanted to go over a few things here before we actually take it out. but we've got a couple cables that we're gonna need to undo. So this thing sits in there, I think it sits in there like this. And you can see there's our latch that's facing outside the door. We've got one short cable that's hidden inside. This is gonna latch the outer handle to the inner latch. This is the one that goes behind the door panel that we undid for your interior handle. And then this is the actual manual lock that is going to stay on there. Now you can see this style of clip here that has two little ears on it. And I actually used a heat gun to sort of heat the plastic up because it was cold earlier. And that I found really helped. It sort of softened the plastic and was easier to bend. But you see how we gotta sort of depress the plastic like that. I tried to use a flathead screwdriver. It didn't really work too well, but yeah, if you just push it hard enough, usually you can get it to pop out. But anyhow, this one can stay. There's a different one that needs to come out. We've also got two electrical connectors that are in there as well that need to be undone. So let's, oh, and then there's this clip too. I'll show you that right now. So let's start there. If you look in through here, you'll see that white rectangular looking tab, that clip, that needs to pop out. I'll trade you places. All right, so we just pop that out like that. Boom, that cable is undone from the body. There's a little more to it though. There's a lot of these little clips and things like that. This one, we've got to get in behind it. Get that undone. That comes undone. This pops through here, like, just get it ready like this. We also need to undo a couple other things here. We'll do this now. So 2 10mm nuts. This is going to be for your window regulator track that the glass was sitting on. And I'll just tuck this sort of down here and out of the way for now to get it out of my road, because it's just going to get in your way. And then we need to undo these 2 10mm bolts. Hold the plastic track for your window to slide up and down on, which is also inside of there. That plastic track is screwed to that latch assembly with that actuator on it. So let's undo. We've got to undo this cable. I'm going to grab a light and set this up so that you can see, but there's that short cable that's inside of there that connects the latch to the outer handle. We're going to need to undo that where it sits right now. That's going to be easiest, and we're going to need some long needle nose pliers to do that. Okay, so the next step, we've got to fish this cable through. This is for our interior door handle. We need it out of the way because we're going to stick our pliers through this hole. And once that's out of your road, if you look through this hole, you'll see up in here, here's our cable. So on this side of the bracket, we're going to rotate this until you can see the one ear there now. And then there's another ear that's on the top. So we need to squish those together with our needle nose pliers while we pull the cable outwards this way to get it off of this bracket. So let's get that lined up and get it in there. Oh, also, if you look further back on the cable, this needs to unlatch out of here like so. There. And then once you do that, there's a slot in the bracket for you to bring the cable over. And then we just slide this around and it drops out the bottom like that. Hopefully you've seen that. It's just a standard, it's got a lead cylinder on the end, just like a bicycle cable. Okay, now that that's undone, that's gonna come with the piece we just did. Take a look in here. You're gonna see there's gonna be a black electrical cable. We need to unclip that thing like that. And then there's another one down there, but we're gonna have to undo that one once we get this out because it's somewhere you can't touch it. So now what we want to do, unscrew these. And we also need to undo the 3 T30 Torx that are located on the side of the door. Okay, now we're starting to get somewhere. We're almost out now. So now what we need to do, I'll try to move this back here. So now we want to kind of slide the latch assembly down a little bit. Oh yeah, there's one more thing I forgot. Okay, so there's a metal bar that also goes to the door handle as well. That's for the actual key lock, and that one you can see if you look, it's right in this back corner. I'll try to get one here. If you're lucky, you can just push on it with your finger and you might be able to get it out. Just like that, unclipped. Now we can swing this down, this whole mess. And now when we swing it down like that, that's gonna give us access to this gray connector that's here. So you should be able to depress that, unplug that one. Now all of our electronics are unplugged. This grommet needs to go through now. This is like the last part. And then we can slide this monstrosity out. And all these cables and nonsense come with it. Just like that. And there you go, you can see, oh, there's our actuator, it's hidden in there. So now we've got to split this apart so that we can get to the actuator and change it. So let's go to the bench. Okay, so we need to remove 2 T25 Torx screws. One here, and then there's one over here. Once you take those out, this is going to split apart. You're going to get this black thing. You got to push the cable through right there. This pops off, okay? And then we've got this window track piece. Those screws are supposed to come out of there. And then that's just gonna, oh, we got this cable on here too. We can pop that off. Okay, now we've got, there's our actuator. So this is the easy part of the whole job. We just pop this thing up. It literally, it's not even bolted down or screwed down or nothing. You just literally pull it up. And work it back and forth, and then it pops off. And there's the actuator. So this is actually the new updated number. This will be the driver's front number. And then also got a number for the passenger side. I think it ends in 19. I can't remember. Anyhow, yeah, I guess we'll basically start putting this back together now. Okay, so you're gonna take your new actuator, you're gonna line this stubby thing up with this hole that's in here. But you also gotta line up these right here. So you see these two little tab cutout things? Those line up like that. So you get that started and you make sure that's gonna line up with that hole, and then you just slowly work it back and forth until you come to the very bottom, and then that just sits in there like that. And it should be rested up against that piece about there. And then now we're ready to assemble this mess back together. So you pretty much just want to, let's see, we've got a couple holes that we got to line this thing up to. I forget exactly where. Hold on. This guy, I'm pretty sure gets sandwiched in between him. Okay, so this piece right here, you'll see there's this little thing right here. It cups underneath of this black piece right there. And then this guy comes in behind. And we've got to fish that cable through there where the tan colored foam is. So these are going to be the threads for the bolts, and the bolts go in through the front. So you take your bolts and pass them through. One there, one in there. Take your drill. Okay, now just make sure that these clips are in. They like to fall out, so you can see how that sits in there like that. And this one's got to do the same thing like that. And let's go put this back in the truck. All right, so this piece here, that sits in there like so. Whoops. I believe. Something like that. It's sitting in there all funny. There. Oh, maybe this has to go over here. There, like that. Okay, now we just lay this thing in here. I gotta bring this up. So you just wanna make sure your cables, none of them will get all caught up in there. That thing's gonna fall off every couple minutes. Down. I might have to take that back. All right, so the first thing we got to do, we just go backwards on everything that we did. So we got that one cable thing that we got to snap into place. That clips in like so. And then we've got this cable here. It runs up and over. So you'll see that there's a notch in the very top. The cable goes through that. It comes up to this. Goes into this hole. Push that into place. Then we got to put this thing back on. For the 6th time. All right, we're gonna try to get this cable to come through now. With this rubber grommet. Okay, and then we can probably start these bolts at this point in time, I think. And we're gonna leave these all loose until we get the other ones started too. I guess we can plug in, I forgot our wiring harnesses, but we should still be able to get them plugged in while we still have this. So this back one, you're not going to be able to see it because it's completely behind. But the gray one goes in the back where you can't see, but yeah, it's back down and behind there. And then this one just plugs in the front. And you can hear it kaba. Did you hear it kaba? I heard it kaba. Line this one up, get it started. Now we can do, let's see, we've got this rubber grommet that's on this rod. So we gotta, it fell all the way down, so we gotta fish that back up there, put it back into place. Make sure it's all sitting happy, looks good. Now we wanna do this cable that's inside of here. So what you wanna do is we're gonna put this end back in. Okay, so this end has to go up into this thing, into the latch assembly. And swing it around, pull this back, put the cable in, and then this pops in place. And then there's this little arm that sticks over here. Tuck the cable up into there like so that it stays out of the way of the glass. And then, we've got, I think this part of the cable is supposed to snap into this perhaps. Maybe not, no it doesn't. All right, that cable into this white clip here. And then this guy goes into this clip. Was supposed to go into that clip. This one goes onto this. And then we've got our 3 bolts that we're gonna put on the outside. Oh, it's aluminum. We can't use magnetic lights on the aluminum. Okay, now we'll put this, we'll do the 10 millimeter. Okay, door lock actuators work now. So just a quick test basically is what you're gonna wanna do. There's one thing I forgot to show you when we were taking apart the door latches, and you're gonna have a white clip that's on there. I took this off earlier this morning and I forgot to put it back on. So when you go to take that one clip off that's in there, sorry, the one inner door cable that's up top here, you're gonna notice that this piece sits on here like this. I think it goes on this way like that. So that just needs to come off. It just clips on there, but then you'll be able to take the cable off. I forgot to show you that. Fish this back up and through. There's the glass. Look at the holes in the glass. You see me? Okay, now I just drop this down in here on an angle like this, like the Titanic. And I'm running into something. Okay, just like that. Carefully lower it down until the glass begins to seat into the holders for your windows. Just take a look in there and make sure that they are popped in, which it looks like they are. Give it a little shake. If you wanted to, you could just key on, plug it back in, and make sure the window rolls up and down. Remember, we still got to put the rubber in. That's the next step. So let's do that now. We've got the big rubber. We've got one side that's pretty well flat. It's got a small cutout in it. And then the other side that's got a couple square cutouts in it. That's gonna go like this. We're gonna use the silicone spray. It's gonna make our life 100 times easier. This stuff's by Clean Flow. Silicone spray lubricant. Spray it on the back. Spray it inside the channel where the glass is gonna go. I don't care about the top. I just want the sides where we're gonna be pushing this down into the door. It's gonna help this seal just slip right into place, and it saves you so much time and frustration. Okay, now, what we wanna do, we'll start on this side first. We're just gonna feed this in here. We need to try to line this up so that it slips in there. You're gonna run into a situation where this is gonna wanna hit here. So you've gotta fold that inwards on itself. We're gonna drop it down. And then it's only gonna go down a little bit more and it's gonna hit again. And if you reach up in through the bottom, you should be able to push the seal this way, because there's two pieces that butt together in there where that rubber sits, and it's catching. So the other side, similar sort of deal. Start the glass in the channel. Just make sure that this side on the inside is out. We don't want it tucked on the inside there. And then we just push this in. Work your way along. Make sure the fit and finish is good. Everything feels good, everything looks good, it's in where it's supposed to be. Take a flashlight, look down there, make sure that everything's sitting where it is supposed to be. Looks good. And on this side, everything appears to look good. So then we can move on. We'll put this piece on here. The felt towards the glass. Pretty simple. This thing, sorry, I have it on backwards. I had a hee-haw moment there. Okay. Now, all right, get your mirror on and get your hardware started. 2 black fine threaded bolts and then the 2 silver nuts. Okay, buzz those on. Now we're gonna put the door skin, actually speaker on. All right, we just line this up, run it around nice and evenly, and then just use your thumb and just work it in there. This butyl tape is very sticky stuff. You want a pretty good seal. This is gonna keep the wind out of the inner portion of the door card and also keeps noise down. It keeps the air conditioning in the cab. It keeps the heat in the cab. Okay. All right, so now we've got connections. We've got this guy here, he goes on like this. Then we've got a door lock. And our window switch. Oh, don't forget your mirror. Almost forgot the mirror. This plugs in. Okay, you gotta feed this lock piece through first. And then you're gonna kind of just hook the top of the door on, and then the bottom will snap into place. Like that. And then just make sure that's all in there. Now we just gotta put all our screws back in. One there. One there. Couple there. The big washered ones on the outside of the handle. The silver looking ones down here. Then we just gotta pop our covers on, so let's do this one first. The bottom sort of hooks in. That snaps into place. We've got this one here, hook it in there. That's looking good. This top cover right here. Boom, just like that. And last thing to do, I guess just make sure the window rolls up. And if you want to initialize the window function, you just hold the window switch in the up position for 10 seconds. Push it down and hold it down for 10 seconds. And then the window should hopefully have auto. And that's pretty much all there is. So hopefully this video helped you on how to remove and replace the driver's side or front, because the passenger side is pretty much identical to this, minus one piece. Front door lock actuators on a 2020 F150. And if you got any questions, throw them in the comments. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.